Taki attacks Blade, still reeling from his mother's and Saya's deaths. He believes defeating top actors will bring him recognition and avenge his mother. Aqua reflects on his acting, remembering AI's praise and advice to become the best actor. He uses his anger and sadness to improve his performance, and despite Taki's relentless attack, Blade defeats him with lightning. The others learn Saya sacrificed herself to save everyone, transferring her wounds through her scabbard. Kazami realizes this and acknowledges Saya's sacrifice, leading to her revival. Aqua imagines his mother could have survived too and cries while hugging Saya. After the play, Akane struggles with feelings of inadequacy, despite praise from the actors. Keburaji talks to Toshiro, who praises Akane's star power. Aqua finds a DNA test result in the bathroom, leading him to a clue. Later, the actors gather for drinks, where Aqua starts to suspect Toshiro might be connected to his mother. Toshiro reveals LALAI's origins as a group from an acting school that struggled before involving talent from workshops. Aqua presses for more details, but Toshiro dismisses it as a mistake from the past. Himala, curious like Aqua, invites Toshiro for drinks. At a bar, Himala explains the servers are models and idols working in secret. Toshiro passes out after claiming Aqua's acting was perfect, which Himala feels ruined his plan to get Toshiro to talk. He apologizes to Aqua, promising another attempt later. Aqua shows Himala the DNA test results, revealing they share the same father. Aqua asks about their father, but Himala suggests they wait until Toshiro is sober. At Himala's apartment, Himala guesses Aqua's mother was an entertainer and asks if Aqua knows who Hakua is. Aqua explains she was the female lead in a drama series. Himala reveals Hakua was his mother, and she committed suicide with their father, Jiro, who often chose talented entertainers to cover his own lack of talent. Himala expresses hatred for their father and warns Aqua not to follow in his footsteps. He advises Aqua to love one person, or he'll end up like their father. The next day, Ruby scolds Aqua for staying out all night, but Aqua explains he was with Hakua. He reflects on his father's death and how revenge was all he cared about. Aqua gets a call from Kana, who scolds him for leaving the party and assuming he went with Akane. He reassures her he was with Himala. Later, Aqua checks his phone and sees messages from Akane, reminding him not to drink since he's a minor. Aqua wonders if he can ever live happily, now that the person he was chasing is gone. Meanwhile, Sho tells Akane and Ruby their channel reached 20,000 subscribers, but they don't seem to care, which annoys her. She reminds them that most channels don't make money and they should appreciate their success. Kana suggests getting part-time jobs due to their financial struggles. Sho plans a room tour, and although Kana hesitates, she agrees when Sho says they can count personal items as expenses. As they film Kana's room, Sho notices she has many expensive things. Kana defends her purchases, saying she needs to surround herself with expensive items to avoid looking cheap. Sho realizes that despite calling herself a struggling actress, Kana lives in a nice apartment, but Kana explains she manages her money well for her safety and career. Ruby wonders if she should remove AI's posters before filming to keep her mother's identity a secret. She reflects on naming their group BEC Komi, hoping to fulfill AI's dream and that Goro would appear after hearing the name. Cho announces they're filming a music video, which could help boost their views. Kana is concerned about the costs, but Cho assures her they'll get a discount and go after her play ends, making Kana think about spending time with Aqua. Sho suggests making an original song, and Meiko reveals she asked Haruma, who worked on Bami's old songs, to write it. Aqua realizes his mother had connections with music artists and considers getting close to Haruma to learn more. Ruby is excited but frustrated that Haruma hasn't finished the song. Meiko insists they should be thankful he's writing it for them, but Ruby argues they need to push him to finish. Meiko calls Haruma, who explains his packed schedule and hesitates to write a subpar song. Ruby sends a video message to Haruma, motivating him to create a great song. Meanwhile, Tokyo Blade finishes its run, and Aqua is unsure of his next step. Ruby invites him to join them in Miyazaki to film their music video, which Aqua agrees to, remembering it from his past life. Kana offers to help him buy a suitcase when he says he doesn't have one. The next day, Kana is late, but Aqua patiently waits and buys her coffee. They go to buy the suitcase, and Kana blushes when Aqua picks a white one that matches her glow stick color. Later, as Aqua is about to leave, Kana mentions she's hungry, so they go to a restaurant. Aqua surprises her with a reservation, and she's impressed by how well he's been taking care of her. He explains he was raised in a talent agency. Kana teases him, thinking he dates other girls, but he reassures her he just wanted her to enjoy herself. She asks about his relationship with Akane, and Aqua admits he once thought he shouldn't fall in love but has since changed his mind. The night ends with Aqua dropping Kana off at home, leaving her wondering about his feelings after seeing a photo of him with Akane. Aqua meets with Akane and notices she's using a filter on her pictures, wondering why she does it since it's not something guys usually like. He realizes that with his search for his father over, he no longer needs her in his life. Akane mentions his trip to Miyazaki, and when Aqua asks if she travels much, she reveals her family usually goes abroad but she hasn't traveled much within Japan. She suggests they talk about their relationship, and Aqua explains that it isn't real and doesn't want to tie her down. Akane agrees but feels Aqua used her. At the bridge where Aqua once stopped her from taking her life, she tells him she wasn't angry about the kiss on the show, knowing he had a kind heart. Aqua tells her she's falling for his deception, but Akane urges him to express his real feelings. She admits she hasn't dated anyone and doesn't know how to be romantic. Aqua reveals he was searching for his father, believing he was responsible for his mother's death. After spending 5 million yen on DNA testing, he learned his father was dead and that he had a half-sibling. Aqua feels relieved and says he can now live his life freely. Akane says goodbye but realizes Aqua overlooked a clue. Zero couldn't be his father due to their different hair colors and the timing of his mother's death. She worries Aqua will resume his search for revenge if he figures this out. Meanwhile, Ruby visits AI's grave and walks past a man who is their real father. Haruma finishes the song for the group and everyone likes it, but Kana feels guilty about Ruby and Cho's singing. That night, a woman named An Elmo offers to film a video for their song along with the music video they had already planned. Cho wonders if they'll have time, but An Elmo believes they can finish filming in a day if Cho is okay with the video concept. On the day of the trip, Kana is annoyed that Akane is joining them, while Ruby is excited since she's a fan of Akane. She jokes that she might call Akane her sister, making Kana cry. Upon arrival, An Elmo greets them and explains her company's location in the countryside, where they'll also visit the shrine of the goddess of performing arts. Kana suggests visiting the shrine, but An Elmo says they need to film first. Everyone heads to the studio while Aqua tells Akane he's going to the hospital, making her wonder if he's sick. Aqua and Akane arrive at the hospital, where Aqua inquires about Goru but learns he is considered to have resigned and cannot be found. Aqua explains that someone he knew used to work there, but Akane wonders what he was hoping to find. As they walk through the town, Aqua reflects on his past with AI and heads to the cliff where she died. He asks Akane if the remains of a pet from 15 years ago could still be found there. Akane tells him if it was buried, the bones could still be there, but if exposed, animals might have eaten them. She finds Aqua's search for his old dog endearing but advises him not to overdo it. Aqua then takes her to his old house, which once belonged to someone he knew but who has since passed away. Akane realizes the person was important to Aqua, and he shares his story about Goru. Aqua explains that his mother hid her pregnancy from her parents, and after she passed away during childbirth, Aqua was raised by his grandparents. He felt guilty for causing her death, so he decided to pursue medicine, though his true goal was to become a surgeon. He recalls Serena's final moments when she gave him a keychain from an ice concert, asking him to cherish it. Meanwhile, Ruby is surprised to find An Elmo still filming her during lunch. An Elmo explains that idol music videos include both dance and drama parts, with some shots highlighting their cute sides. An Elmo directs Kana to act like the camera is her crush, teasing her about having a boy she likes. Ruby is impressed by the number of staff involved in the project, and Kana mentions the video costs over 5 million yen, so they should be grateful to Mako for spending so much money on them. Aqua and Akane arrive at the studio, and Cho tells them that Ruby and Kana are almost done with the drama parts. Aqua wonders why Cho isn't filming, and she explains that minors can't work past 10 p.m., but she can film later at night. Kana shows Aqua her dress for the video, and Akane, who disapproves of Kana's idol work, secretly adjusts the dress. Kana asks Aqua if she looks cute, but he just says she passes, which annoys her. As they watch Kana practice her dance, Akane wonders if Kana will succeed as an idol. Aqua believes she will, but Akane warns him that if Kana becomes famous, they won't be able to date publicly. This makes Aqua realize he needs to be cautious to avoid Kana facing the same fate as AI. On their way back, Ruby sees a crow and gets close to it, but the crow grabs her key and flies away. Akane suggests they let it go and apologize to the innkeeper instead of chasing the bird. She worries they might get lost, but Ruby says she knows the area well because she grew up there. Ruby then asks Akane if she wants to become an idol, but Akane says acting is her only skill. Akane wonders if Ruby wants to act instead, but Ruby says she's more interested in being an idol. Ruby dreams of performing in a big stadium and thinks it might help her meet Goro again. She asks Akane what she thinks about big age gaps in relationships. Akane says that being mature is more important than age. Ruby talks about Goro, explaining that he gave her hope when she felt lost. But before she could tell him her feelings, he disappeared. She says he always avoided her when she mentioned marrying him, but she still cares about him. While following the crow near a shrine, Ruby is shocked to find a dead body. She sees a keychain she had given to Goro and realizes the body is his. The police come to investigate. After answering their questions, Ruby goes back to the inn with Mako. Mako offers to cancel the next day's shoot, but Ruby says she's okay. Later, Ruby looks for Akane but finds out she's with Aqua. Aqua apologizes to Akane for everything that happened on the trip. He blames himself, but Akane tells him it's not his fault. Aqua says the police think it's murder and admits he had a feeling Akane would find the body because he left clues for her. Akane is surprised when Aqua says he didn't plan to solve it himself but hoped someone else would. Aqua admits he's been using her, but Akane already knew. Instead of being mad, she says she's happy she can finally share her feelings. She tells Aqua she admires him for his kindness but believes he'd be better off without her. Holding back tears, she says she wanted them to part on good terms during the trip. Aqua softens, wipes her tears, and kisses her. The next day, Ruby visits the hospital. She remembers Goro while looking at the keychain. A mysterious girl appears and warns her not to have taken it from the body. The girl asks Ruby about her connection to Goro, but Ruby says she wouldn't understand. The girl mentions that years ago, an idol gave birth at the hospital and that Goro was her doctor. She says Goro disappeared soon after the baby was born and remembers seeing two strange men at the hospital. One of them later became known for stabbing AI. Ruby asks about the second man, but the girl says she doesn't know and tells Ruby to find out. At the studio, Nomo says they'll film outside. During the shoot, Ruby thinks about the person who caused Goro's and her mom's deaths. Her sadness turns into determination, and Nomo notices her serious expression. After filming, Nomo tells them to relax, and Sho reminds them about their flight the next day. Later, Akane visits the hot spring and thinks about everything that happened. She blushes as she remembers Aqua's kiss and wonders if they're officially a couple now. Kana shows up and teases Akane, telling her to leave the hot spring before she overheats. Kana also mentions hearing about Akane's new movie role. Akane says it's only a small release, but Kana cheers her on, saying it's a big step forward. That night, Ruby asks Akane why she thinks Aqua became an actor. Akane guesses it's because he wants to meet someone in the industry but doesn't go into details to avoid upsetting Ruby. The next day, the group visits the Shrine of Performing Arts. They all make wishes for success, but Ruby secretly prays for Aqua to find the person behind Goro's and AI's deaths. 6 months later, Aqua watches their music video, which has over 20 million views. The group becomes more famous and even appears on TV. But this is just the beginning. Meanwhile, their father scolds another girl, warning her to be more careful, leaving the story on a chilling note. That's the end of this video. Do leave a like and a comment on this video. Please do subscribe to Weebsphere.